God's blessings to you from our family here at St. Simon of Cyrene Parish with our ministry sites at St. Agatha and St. Martin de Porres churches. Offer this reflection on the scriptures for this coming Sunday for your spiritual nourishment and encouragement. Before we begin, let's take a moment to recognize God's presence in each of us and to give thanks for all our blessings. My sisters and brothers, last week we heard Jesus describe the kingdom of heaven through the parable of the sower and the seed. In essence, the parable tells us that God, the sower of seed, is reckless, throwing seed in places where no sane farmer would try to plant seed. God is willing to share his love anywhere and everywhere. After all, he let his son be born in a poor family and a dirty, smelly stable. This Sunday, we hear more parables trying to describe the kingdom of heaven and practical, down-to-earth stories that the people of his day could relate to. The kingdom of heaven is a man who sowed good seed, only to be invaded by an enemy who sowed weeds in the same field. The landowner instructs his workers to let them grow together, and all will get sorted out by the master of the harvest. The kingdom of heaven is like a woman who added yeast and water to her flour, knowing that it would expand and create greater amount of bread to feed her family and the poor. The kingdom of heaven is like someone who planted a tiny mustard seed, trusting that with God's help it would grow into a large tree, providing sustenance and even a home for the birds. My friends, any of us can craft a parable that expresses our hope for what building the kingdom of heaven, that is the revelation and unfolding of God's love, forgiveness, and mercy in the world, looks like. Look at the end product of every parable. Something new, surprising, unexpected happens, and resurrection, reparation, and restoration flourish for individuals, for families, for communities, and for all creation. Here's a few of my own parables. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who is imprisoned on false charges, who despite his plight resolves that on his release, he will rebuild his life, connect with his family, and help others returning from prison to achieve their God-given potential. The kingdom of heaven is like a white woman who has carried prejudice against black people in her heart her whole life. Blinded in an accident, she is befriended by a black woman who she does not know is black. And on discovering years later into their relationship that her friend is indeed black, she is overcome with emotion and remorse at her past attitudes and realizes that the treasure of friendship transcends the false narratives and preconditioning of racism in white society. The kingdom of heaven is like the young man whose father was not present in his life because he saw his top priority as growing in material wealth, falsely believing that this was his best expression of love for his family. The young man discovers a friend, a mentor, who loves him for who he is, encouraging him to cherish relationships above all else, and along the way discovers his God-given purpose of supporting and nurturing other young men through his strength, vulnerability, humility, and kindness. The kingdom of heaven is like two congregations who, diminished in numbers and resources, joins together in faith, trusting that God has a plan to revive the faith on the west side of Chicago. Although material resources are limited, they realize that in coming together, resources of hope, creativity, and a desire to build relationships with one another will multiply into other resources that will guarantee the growth of the kingdom of heaven on the west side. My friends, what is your parable of hope, your expression of what the unfolding of the kingdom of heaven is like through the eyes of your heart and your mind? Hopefully we can all imagine and express our vision for the potential flourishing of God's love in the world. The kingdom of heaven is like a disciple of Jesus Christ who carries the seeds of God's love within them every day and humbly and generously scatters them wherever life's journey takes them, trusting that heaven find a home in the hearts of others. On behalf of the Catholic Christian family here at St. Simon of Cyrene Parish, I want to invite you to join us this coming Sunday for one of our two Masses, 9 a.m. at St. Agatha or 11 a.m. at St. Martin de Porres. Both services are led by our contemporary gospel choir. Their services are live streamed and available for viewing afterward online. We welcome your participation in our community prayer of praise and thanksgiving. Please take the time to share this video with others. It's a great way for you to evangelize, to share the good news of Jesus Christ. Thank you for all the ways you continue to allow the Lord to work through you, with you, and in you. And in all things, my friends, be blessed.